The purpose of shadow bowing is to learn how to make the correct arm movements with the bow and learn how it feels to move the bow before we get the instrument involved. Use a piece of pipe insulation as shown in this video and a wooden dowel. You can also use an empty toilet paper roll, an empty paper towel roll cut in half, or a rolled up piece of paper. Violins and violas should hold the tube with the left hand and place it on the left shoulder. Cellists and bassists hold the tube in the left hand in front of their bodies. Play the rhythmic patterns that you will have students learn with their bows. Put on a recording with a lively rhythmic background and play along. Let the kids make up rhythmic patterns with words. Before students bring the bow to the instrument, it is helpful to mark the middle of their bows by wrapping a small piece of colored tape around the middle of the bow stick. The tape will give them a visual anchor when placing the bow and help ensure that students have correct bow placement. When bringing the bow to the instrument, violin and viola students can set the bow on the string and then form a correct bow hold. The area between the bridge and the fingerboard is the bowing highway, and this highway can be divided into 5 bowing lanes. Lane 1 is closest to the fingerboard, and lane 5 is closest to the bridge. For the beginning bow strokes, bowing lane 3, midway between the bridge and the fingerboard, is a good target, also called the sounding point, for placement of the bow. Squaring up is a term to help remind violin and viola students about correct bow placement and instrument position. If the bow is placed in the middle of bowing lane number 3 and the instrument is held correctly, the elbow is at a 90-degree angle and a square is formed with the 4 sides being the forearm, the upper arm, the body, and the bow. Squaring up will also help students draw the bow parallel to the bridge. The helicopter is a game to help students learn correct placement of the bow, to learn how to lift and silently land the bow, and to explore landing in different parts of the bow. Take off and land, trying to land in the different bowing lanes. In the beginning, land the bow in the middle, but as students get more experienced, you can ask them to try landing in the upper or lower half, at the frog, or at the tip. Helicopter with Resistance is a fun partner game for students. Partner 1 does a helicopter lift while Partner 2 places his or her index fingers on the bow at the tip and the screw and applies a small amount of downward pressure on the bow. If one end of the bow is lighter than the other, Partner 2 can tap or wiggle that part of the bow until Partner 1 adjusts the balance in their bow hold. This is a game that should be reviewed as students become more experienced. Elbow Elevator is a great game to teach students silent string crossings and positioning the arm correctly for the different bowing angles. It also helps students learn that the wrist and elbow move together when changing string angles. Violin and viola students should be squared up. The elevator can stop at every floor or can roll across the strings from 1st to 4th string. As the bow rolls across the strings, make sure the student's elbows move up and down as on an elevator. Roll the bow, adjusting the level of the elbow. Tiny helicopter lifts can be added and silently place the bow back on the string. Tap the pinky and other fingers if tension appears in the hand.